people in school, so you mentioned school children, they're in school, they focus on the badge.
Yeah, they do.
So for people in school now, for kids in school who might see this, what advice do you have basically for kids in school?
If you can get a 5-year-old to start to think about business,
yeah,
you know, it will change their world forever. It will. And so the earlier the better. I honestly believe that people say to kids when they want something, what do you think, money grows on trees? So they're teaching their kids the opposite. Of course money grows on trees. You know, there wouldn't be any farmers, there wouldn't be any apple farmers, any fruit farmers if money didn't grow on trees. Go, yeah, you can have everything in your life that you want.
Yeah.
All you got to do is help enough other people. What are you going to do for, you know, if you want a reward, what are you going to do for it?
Yeah.
Teach the kids that they can go out, they can earn, or they probably can't go out at 5, but you can find them a job.
Yeah.
And you can give them a little reward, and you can say you can do whatever you like with it. It's yours. You made a decision.
Yeah.
So I would say to kids, don't have a plan B. You know, focus on what you want right now.
Yeah.
And educate yourself into it, whatever it is, and go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and be focused, and then, because kids are like gnats, they're all over the place. So fine, you know, let them explore.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, there's enough money for everybody to be a millionaire in the world. Oh, especially now they've printed loads more. Yeah, it's just that other people, some people who've got a lot more are saving it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you decide how to get it. And I'm not talking about robbing, I'm talking about
who's got my money?
How to become more valuable.
Yeah.
You've got to become a more valuable person, and you'll attract money.
Yeah.
You know, on one of the books I keep starting writing books, you know, but one of the books I'd got was I drew paper money with little arms and legs and heads on, and it was running to more money. Money attracts money.
Yeah.
No, it's safe. If you have got some money and you decide to put it in a tin and bury it in the garden, that's not going to do that money any good.
No.
No, money needs to be used, and that will attract more money. And money will come to a person that is using it correctly, making it work. I mean, fancy all the government laying off 8 million people this last year and paying them. It's totally wrong. Yeah. You need to work, you know, and not working makes, what they say, jackadoo lad, something like that. Yeah. Something like that. But you need to do something, and that 7.50 was always about making the blood flow. Yeah. Making the blood flow. Or as soon as you start getting active, you start thinking, you start wanting to do more, and it's the same in business. Yeah. And it's the same with kids. Stop making kids sit down. If they want to run around, let them run.
When you sold your business, how did you know it was the right time to sell?
Ah, right, okay, yeah. Well, what you find in business is you should know your business better than anybody else. Yeah. Right. You should you should eat and sleep your business. You should marry your business. You should know everything about it. Yeah. That there is more than anybody else. So if you know that, then you know where you are. Say you're in a clock, you've got a clock, and you start your business at 12 o'clock. Yeah. Okay, it's nothing. But when you get right the way round to 12 o'clock again, it's worth nothing. So you've got to decide, where are you in the cycle? And normally, you know, you want to sell your business at 10 to 10. Okay. 10 to 10 to 5 to 11. Don't leave it too long, because it's like you get a racehorse, a foal, and you're nurturing it. you're feeding it with the right stuff, and you're exercising it right, and one day it'll win the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
And then you've got an opportunity then, do you sell it? Or do you keep it?
Yeah.
Do you put it out for stud? What is it? But as sure as eggs are eggs, at 12 o'clock a horse is going to die.
Yeah, so you've got to find the right time.
So have you've spent a lot of time building that racehorse up to be the champion.
Yeah.
So therefore you've got a price for it just before it gets to be a champion, but when it gets to be a champion you've got a price for it. When it gets to be stud you've got a price, and so on. But then it starts to go down.
Yeah.
Everything goes round in a circle. So what is happening today? What's the economy?
Yeah.
What's the business doing? What's your competitors doing? And as you put that into the mix and you look at it all the time, what are you doing in your life? Why is it? Why do you want to sell? Why? Why do I want to sell? Well, say in your personal life something happens.
Yeah.
You might want to sell your business. It might be somewhere in that circle, but it's because you want to sell it, because your personal circumstance, maybe the circumstances of the business, the partnership, there's hundreds of things. So let's just get on to the Kiddicare thing.
Yeah.
So we were doing 40 million. We'd got that singing. It was absolutely firing on all cylinders. It had been through the recession, been through all the crap. It had come out the other side, and it was really, really good. So what do we do to get it up to 200 million? Because we could do 200 million. We knew that was our ambition. And other people around you have their ambitions, their wants, their needs, and that. And as a group of people, you group and you go forward, and then to the next stage, and then very often people fall away, and then you regroup to the next. It depends what people can stand, and what they want, and what time of life there is, And so there's lots and lots of reasons. Now, it was turmoil on the high street. We'd just been through a recession. We were still in a recession in 2010.
Okay.
The whole of the high street had been bashed worse than it's ever been before. We won't go into what it is now, but this was in 2010, 10 years ago. So everybody wanted to get back on their feet and to expand and to get stronger.
Yeah.
So we were no different. We wanted to get to 200 million. And what have we got to do? We either got to have a hard slog to get there, or by an acquisition, by Mothercare or by somebody else, independents, whatever. And we looked round, and nobody was really doing any better than us. There wasn't a good company that you could say, yeah, we'll buy that and bolt it on.
Yeah.
But the whole of the high street was looking for companies to bolt on, good companies. Now, we've got one.
Yeah.
And so this is why we had initially 30 people when we put it on the market who wanted to buy. 11 of them was VCs, which we didn't want to know. So that brought it down to 19. And then there was a couple of people who thought we was going bankrupt, wanted it for nothing.
Yeah.
They was out. So it got down to 15, and so it went on. So there was, after about a month, there was 7 people who was really, really interested. And this was the high street, people, all of these were people from the high street. So we had become the hunted. So instead of us hunting for an acquisition, and again, reverse psychology, there was no acquisition for us that was any good. So I said, well, we can't hunt for something. Yeah. We've got to slog our way through to get to 200 million. We don't want to do that because we've already had that fun of getting there. This is going to be hard work.
Yeah.
So we'll become the hunted, reverse psychology. So people was hunting for bolt-ons to their business in different sectors so they could enhance their offering.
Yeah.
That was the reason. That was what happened. So every business goes through this cycle, and I see so many people that go through the cycle and they retire.
Yeah.
And go, why haven't you sold a bit? Well, who would want this business? Well, a lot of people, and I do mentoring for a lot of business people, and this is one of the things. Have you thought about selling your business? And they go, no, it's been my lifestyle. Well, do you not realise the value in it?
Yeah, you've got.
Well, who would want to buy it? Well, you don't know. Would we have ever thought Morrison's or Tesco's or Boots or Halfords or the Barclay Brothers or the Hut? People have got to open their minds to the possibilities. It's like going back and offering what you've got, not what you can afford. It's opening your mind and saying, well, there's only 2 people who would buy us, and that's Mothercare and somebody else. No, what you don't know what people are thinking. You don't know the people out there who want to change their business model or add on or.
Yeah, it's just a limiting belief, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and you've got to open your mind and do that.
Business. For those that do, what tip would you give to them?
Well, treat your business as you're working for it right from day one. Start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
There is something there, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People with Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
I think it's downstairs. I think I listened to that about 30 years ago. Start with the end in mind.
Okay. Sharpen
the saw. It's that type of thing. So it's very good. I recommend that to anybody. So the thing is, look at your business from an outside perspective as you are working for that business. Create something that people want, customers want. If you create a business that customers want to come to, then buyers will want to come and buy it. They will. You don't have to sell it, but if you're creating that business that's going to be worth more to somebody else than it's worth to you, then that's what you've got to do, and you have fun in creating it. Now, you could keep it and never sell it until you pop your clogs, or you could pass it on to the next generation or the next generation, whatever it may be, or you could sell it. You've got the option. But far too many people bumping along the ground in a business, and then they go, I'm fed up with this, I want to sell. Have you prepared your business for sale? And most people don't give it a thought. And you must prepare. I know somebody wants to sell their business in 9 years' time. We've got to prepare it now for 9 years' time. Maybe it'll be prepared, and in 5 years' time it'll be worth a fortune, and they'll decide that's the time. And maybe their retirement will be 4 years earlier if they're classing it as retirement. So prepare. That's it.
So always prepare for, essentially. This kind of leads us on perfectly, really. So say, for instance, you woke up tomorrow, you didn't have anything. What would you do now, today, to kind of get back to your first million and start creating wealth again?
Well, forget about the first million. Okay. Because money is a byproduct of you doing something for other people.
Yeah.
So that money comes along as that byproduct. And you've got to be smart about it, obviously. You can't just go, I've helped loads of people, but where's the money? I don't know where it is, I've helped thousands of people, but I've not got it, I've not seen it. No, you've got to be a bit smarter than that.
Yeah.
You've got to leverage it, everything. You've got to leverage your time, your money, everything. and you've got to make your acquisitions, and you've got to make them grow. You've got to plant the seeds, and then you've got to water and fertilise the plant, and then you've got to nurture the plant and make it grow. And there's so therefore, but money does come along as a byproduct of you getting off your backside. You know, you've got to go through the pain. No pain, no gain. And it all goes round in the circle. So you've got to get off your backside and do something. And I forgot a question.
So what would you do now?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, you see, who knows what the circumstances would be, and we're probably going to be tested, because if this one world order comes along, and this, it depends. If Marilyn's right and they're incompetent, that's one thing that'll, if they take all your money away, and you've got to start again. That's one thing. If they're taking all your property away and your money, and you've got to start again. On the one world order, they're supposed to be giving you a pittance just to survive. Well, that would be no good. You've got to think outside the box. You've got to hustle. So who knows what the hustle will be? You've got to survive, and you've got to adapt to circumstances around you. Because I get this question asked every day: what would you do now if you started again? Well, who knows? Because there is vast amount of knowledge out there, vast amount of things to do. It's what you feel inside, and then if you've got zero, you're only thinking of your gut. You've got to eat. That's your main thing. Then you've got to think of shelter. Then you've got to think of safety. Probably safety comes before shelter, but you've got to think of these basic things. Bear Grylls would be a good one to ask that question, you see, somebody like that. But you've got to go back to a primitive lifestyle. We survived in a 10-foot caravan. Okay, I've got a van out there, haven't I, on the drive. I could survive in that. Okay, so therefore you take what's around you and you build on it. And you have to go backwards before you can go forwards. So if I'd got nothing, well, if I'd got my van, I've got shelter. I've got a bit of safety. So you gather people around you. This is why you have tribes. This is, I can't do, being dyslexic and having ADH was it says on the book here, having dyslexia and ADH has been advantages, it's given me drive to succeed. Well, the drive to succeed was the dyslexia, so I was never afraid of employing people because I couldn't do the things that they could do. I gave them protection because they come into a protected environment. So they could do things that I couldn't. I could protect them. I could give them stability. ADH was fantastic because my mind's all over the place. So they've got a boss that they never know what's going to happen. It's like you're just looking every day. You're like a bloodhound going. So it's I would be looking, and you only got to start a metre around you, and look. What can you do? And then go to the next. What can you do? Do you go to your next door neighbour like I did and say, do you want your windows cleaning? And they slam the door in your face. Well, if they do, you go to the next one. And the next. I don't know. I can't advise people on that because I don't know their skills, their wants, their needs, their ambitions. But I do know one thing. You've got to get off your arse and you've got to hustle. I never liked that word. I think it was one of the podcasts, John Lamberton. He said, "Are you a hustler?" And I said, "Well, I don't know what it is. It don't sound right." But you are, because you've got to take what you've got and you've got to develop it and you've got to survive. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm not looking forward to that, but I am in a way. If they took everything away, then you got to gives you a new lease of life. Don't get too comfortable.
Yeah.
And this is something else. Don't get too comfortable because it ain't going to stay.
Yeah.
In Kiddicare, we used to have a saying that if it's been peaceful and great for the last 48 hours, be careful, because you've either just come out of a crisis or you're just going to go into one.
Yeah.
And this is business, going in and out of crisis, solving problems, and having a whale of a time.
Yeah. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Have you heard that saying before?
Yeah. Stretch yourself. Yeah, and everything around you, and keep on.
Yeah, that's been fantastic. That's all of our questions gone. Tons of absolute, time really has flown. Tons of absolute value there. But I suppose really the parting comments on this would just be: if you do want to succeed, you do basically need to get off your butt. There's no shortcuts, really, is there?
No.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, Neville. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, is there any parting comments you want to say to the listeners?
Well, I hope you get the book, because the book is my life, and I've told everything in there, how we did it, and how anybody else can do it, and it's just motivating people to have the greatest life they can, and it's helping other people. I think I've helped now 60,000 people with that book. Wow. So it's I'm pretty proud of it,
That's a large number. And then your website as well, which has been developed
in NevilleWright.com.
NevilleWright.com.
There's a lot of free stuff on there, a lot of ideas, and to motivate people. And I know some people say, well, you shouldn't have to be. No, you do have to be motivated.
Yeah.
You do. And I need motivating, and this is one of the things that motivates me to do even more.
Yeah.
So, it's been a pleasure.
Perfect. See you next time.